Sherry and I love cruising. We've been on several different Royal Caribbean cruises in parts of the Bahamas, Caribbean, Mexico, and Honduras. Cruising offers high-quality food, world-class entertainment, and amazing destinations. I know what you're thinking. Guys, it's December. Why are we talking about cruises? Well, there is no better time than the winter months to start planning that cruise vacation. That's why we want to introduce Cruise Week, 7 consecutive days of cruise videos that will help you from booking and planning a cruise to our favorite destinations. So grab a future cruise buddy, make up some fruity drinks, and let's set sail on a week of fun. Well, it is Cruise Week, 7 days of cruise videos. We absolutely love cruising, and so we want to just bring a week's worth of information to you guys if you're ever thinking about booking a cruise. Right now is not a good time to go on a cruise. No.
Normally, this is a great time to go on a cruise.
Normally a great time to go on a cruise, but right now, due to COVID and all that stuff, cruises are actually not even operating right now out of the United States. But it is a really good time to book a cruise.
I was going to say, you can still book them.
Because the deals that you can get right now are huge. Mm-hmm. And usually whenever you're inconvenienced by booking something, they get a little something in return. So if you were to book something, then it gets bumped or moved or whatever, they're going to give you something. So even you could just book that cruise knowing that you're probably not going to go on that cruise at that time, and you'll get more
So don't get your hopes up about a cruise.
Yeah. So before we get started, we got our cruise clothes on. I got my cruise hat on.
Anchors.
We're missing something though, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a little. I'm a little thirsty here. Cheers! We got our drinks, our fruity Royal Caribbean drinks.
Royal Caribbean glasses.
Yeah, Royal Caribbean glasses. So we have 7 different videos this week for you, ranging from our favorite ports, our favorite destinations to go to. We're going to give you a tour of a cruise ship. If you've never seen one up close and personal, we're going to show you guys what a cruise ship looks like in the quarters that you may be in. We're also going to talk about food, and of course, today we're going to be talking about how to book that perfect vacation.
Yeah.
So, First step is booking that vacation. So, what is it that you want to look for when we're going on a cruise. You've decided we're going on a cruise.
Yeah.
What is the next step? What do you do?
Well, I guess, there's different ways you can go. If you're thinking, well, I want to go on a cruise to a certain place, you could start there. If you don't know, you're like, well, we live in Virginia. We're like, okay, well, let's see what cruise ports are the closest to us and see what our options are. Some people might be like, I saw this ship and I want to go on that ship. So you can go online, start from any of those points. And then
you have the port that you leave from, the destinations it goes to, or the ship that you want to go on. Not all ships are the same. In fact, every ship is pretty different. And we're going to be talking a lot about Royal Caribbean because that's really the only cruise we've been on. But we've done a lot of Royal Caribbean cruises. So there are classes in the Royal Caribbean ship fleet. And so you can go on the same class, and that ship will be very similar to the other class, the other ships in that class. But there are going to be some subtle differences between the ships in those classes. Right. But once you start straying out of the class, the ships change pretty drastically.
Yeah, well, I've only been on 2 different classes, but you've gone on the lower, so you've turned into a little bit of a diva.
I want the biggest and best of the ships. But when you go on the lower class ships, the ones that have been around longer, they're usually smaller. There's usually not as many amenities and things to enjoy, and there's a lot less people on those ships. Yeah. But it's because it's a smaller ship, so
which might work for some people if they want to. If they're more concentrated on where does it go, or I don't want to be around big crowds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's something for everyone.
But I would say the crowdedness of a ship is pretty much the same no matter what level, because it's the size of the ship. The ship changes in sizes. There are some differences when you're trying to eat on a big ship. The buffet is always going to be crazy busy, and it's not as busy when you're on a smaller ship. So things like that. But you can either pick the style of ship that you want to go on, or you can pick where you want it to go from. Now, most cruises in the U.S. are probably going to leave from Florida, whether it's Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, Port Canaveral, which is just outside of Orlando.
Right.
Those are the 3 big terminals outside of Florida.
Miami.
Miami.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then there are some out of California too.
Yep, California, Texas, even
Louisiana,
Baltimore.
right?
Baltimore. Louisiana, Baltimore.
Then, northern East Coast, so you got
New York
and Boston.
I think so. Yeah. So there's a lot of different destinations. Typically, we travel to our destination. We've never gone out of Baltimore because that's the smallest ship in the Royal Caribbean fleet.
We were supposed to.
We were going to, but unfortunately that got canceled due to COVID.
Yeah.
So we were doing a Bermuda trip, and the only ship that goes to Bermuda is out of Baltimore for the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. So once you've narrowed those your choice of where you're going to go, or the ship or the port, the other thing is the destinations.
Right.
And some of the destinations are going to be very similar, but some of them are going to be very different and unique. And every destination offers something different. So, cruises are going to start at like a 3-day cruise or a 3-night cruise, or it's going to go all the way up to like 14 days if you want to do a really long cruise.
Or you could do one of those around the world cruises. I think those are a month
long or whatever. And sometimes you can book 2 very small cruises back to back, so you can go to different destinations. The only difference is you're going to have new shipmates halfway through your cruise. So I've never done that before.
No.
That would be interesting.
No. I mean, part of me thinks that'd be kind of cool. I'd be like, oh, bye, you have to leave. I get to stay.
Oh, yeah, I'm staying in the ship. Yeah. Well, and I think it's because, like, a smaller ship may go to, like, Coco K and then Nassau and then come back and then leave and then go somewhere different. You want to hit all of those on that same ship.
Right.
So, so the destinations... We've done all Caribbean, Mexico, that kind of thing. Yeah. We haven't been everywhere, but that's all we've done.
Eastern and Western Caribbean, So
we have our favorites and we have our least favorites. We never have to go to Nassau ever again.
Yeah, never. I've only been once, and
you never have to go again.
I never have to go again.
Yeah, it was. It's
I
not
really haven't
a great
had
place.
good luck in any of the Bahamas, but
Coco K is considered Bahamas. Oh, it rained when we were.
I know. Yeah, we had a great time.
The private island of Coco K, it's a great destination if it's not raining.
Looks phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, they've done a lot of work to it, so it looks really, really cool.
It was ice cold rain.
Yeah. It was not. It was not a fun day.
It was not the island's
And then
fault.
the second we left the island, the sun came out.
The sun came out.
There's obviously other destinations. Cancun, Grand Cayman is a very popular one. Jamaica, Puerto Rico, all of Virgin Islands.
So we've never done the Southern Caribbean though. That's definitely, but those are longer cruises.
Yeah. And usually they take off from somewhere outside of Florida, so you have to go to like Puerto Rico or somewhere else where you're halfway there already. Because it takes so long for the ship to get out to those ports. But we'll definitely be talking about some of those ports of call coming up in the in this week. We'll talk about our favorites and stuff. So the other thing you want to think about is the time frame of your cruise. What time of the year do you want to go on a cruise? Do you want to go on a cruise in July when it's already hot, most likely wherever you are?
Right.
Or do you want to do it in the winter time? So there's different times. Obviously, you kind of want to avoid the fall because that's hurricane season.
Which is funny because my first cruise was in September. If I had known, I might.
Well, it was our honeymoon.
It was our honeymoon.
Like, that's the way it was planned. But you kind of want to avoid hurricane season.
Lucked out.
Ships will divert or change their schedule or itinerary based off of weather. So if they think that they can get a better itinerary by going to a different port or doing an extra day at sea or doing something to switch those 7 days around, they will do that for you. But otherwise, they pretty much stick to that schedule. I think I speak for both of us when I say our favorite time to go is like winter, like January, February, March,
if
April.
you're going somewhere warm,
exactly. Well, we're not going to go to Alaska.
That's all we've done. But if you were going to go to Alaska, then that would be when you would go.
They don't do Alaskan cruises
exactly
January.
So you would go in the late spring, early summer.
Yeah, exactly.
So, depends on where you're going, but yes, for the Caribbean, It's a great time to go.
And it breaks up your winter months, so you know that you get that cabin fever, whatever. You get out, you're going to be able to enjoy some tropical weather. It's really hot out all the time down in the Caribbean, so you're not going to have any issues. You might get some rain, some cooler days, but really it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk a little bit about the process of booking a cruise. So there's a couple ways you can go about doing this. Either A, you can just jump online, Royal Caribbean's website or any cruise website, find your destination, your port of calls, the ship, and then book through there. We actually like to go through a travel agent. Her name's Kathy. She's great.
She's amazing.
Yeah. And the reason why we do this is because Kathy will take care of everything for us. So on our first cruise that we went on, we actually got bumped off of the cruise because there was a what do they call it when they rent the whole ship? They chartered the ship. And so they kicked us off the ship before we even got on.
Yeah, and this was my first cruise. I was like, does this happen?
I was like, how does this happen? So Kathy was amazing. She was able to get us into a better ship, better accommodations for the same price, upgrades, all of that stuff. And so really when you have a travel agent, they're going to know all of the ins and outs. It's not going to be more expensive. It's usually going to be the same price as the website, but you will also get additional perks as well.
Because it's the cruise line that pays the travel agent, right?
So, there's going to be there's no cost, and there's usually some extra perks, like you might get some extra onboard ship credit to use, which is basically Royal Caribbean bucks that they give you, so you can use that towards food, specialty dining, drinks, or any of the other stuff that you might purchase on the cruise ship. So we love to go through a travel agent when we're doing it, and we always pick the same travel agent, and I'm sure the contact information is going to be
I was going to say, we will link it, yes.
So you can use Kathy if needed. The other thing is payments. How do payments work with a cruise ship? Obviously, you give them your credit card information and you pay for the ship, but you don't pay all at once, right?
Right. You pay in installments, and they will let you know. Like usually, your down payment's pretty low. I think it's usually like about $100.
Yeah, $50 a person or $100 a person,
something like that.
Around there.
And then.
And then that's another nice thing about having a travel agent is they will make sure that you pay on time and that you're not going to miss any dates. Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, I'm sure the Royal Caribbean will send you emails saying, "Oh, it's this time to pay this much," and so it's an installment thing.
And the great thing is you can do like a little bit at a time. You could be like, "All right, I can afford to save $50 each paycheck," so you can just do that up until when a certain amount is due.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So. All right. What are some things that you're going to need in order to go on a cruise?
Well, number one thing, passport.
It's funny. I've been on so many cruises. I have my passport, use it every time, and they've never stamped it once. So I have this passport. I've been all these places. I've had it. Did I renew it? So I've had it for longer than 7 years. Yeah. This is a complicated process. If you don't have a passport...
It takes a while, too.
Yeah, it's not really complicated. It just takes a long time. Yeah, so it's government, so of course.
It was a little complicated when I got mine because I had to call 5 different post offices before one was able to make an appointment for me. And this was... 5 years ago,
yeah,
so this was not because of COVID.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you have to make an appointment. The post office are the ones who do all the application fees and stuff like that. And it's like they only have hours from you can only come on Monday from 1 to 4.
Right,
it's like, how am I supposed? And then everybody
also,
goes.
If you call, they only have certain numbers you can call. It's like, you can call from 9 until 11, but then they lunch from 11 to 1:30, and then you can call up until 3, and then they're done for the day.
And they don't have cameras, so you have to go get your picture taken
somewhere else,
and then bring the photo with you.
CVS is a good place.
Yeah, Walmart also does it as well. Yeah. So those are some places where you can get your passport photo done. So once you get the passport, or once you apply for the passport, then it takes up to 6-8 weeks.
Yeah, so definitely do that ahead of time.
Yeah, as soon as you know you're going on a cruise, you just start that process because who knows how long it takes now. But once you have your passport, you're good for 7 years, and renewing is super simple. It's not as hard as it is to get it. Is it 7-10 years? Something like that. We're not experts. Don't listen to anything we say. Cheers?
Cheers.
Cheers! So once you have your passport, you're pretty much set right up till cruise time. Some things to plan ahead on are where are you going to stay before you get on the ship? Are you going to land and go straight to the ship, which is fine. But if there's any delays in your flight, you could miss the ship.
Not recommended.
Yeah, and then you will actually, you will still get on the ship. It's just you're going to get on the ship halfway through the cruise or wherever. So
I would even say if you're planning on driving to port, if you're not too far, you might want to go the night before.
The night before, stay in Port Canaveral or Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale's a really easy one to do with flights because the airport and the cruise terminal are right next to each other.
Yes.
So it's very, very
Fort
easy.
Fort Lauderdale's probably our favorite.
Yeah, to go out of.
Gone out of.
Port Canaveral, they say it's Orlando, but it's really an hour outside of Orlando, so it usually takes a while. That's one we usually get a room for if we go to.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily in Port Canaveral. We usually get a room in Orlando, so we can do some parks and amusement parks and such while we're waiting to get on the cruise. So let's say you drive to port. You have your car. You could park it at the cruise terminal, but that's going to be super expensive.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
You can definitely look up online. A lot of times hotels might offer a certain rate, a cheaper rate, or like if you are staying the night before, you could talk to a hotel and be like, could I leave my car here? There are, depending on the port, there are parking lots that will let you do it for cheaper. If you are going to Port Canaveral, can't recommend enough the website GoPort.
Yeah.
That helped us out a lot.
Now, a lot of hotels are going to offer some type of shuttle service. And sometimes those shuttle services, I'll say, can be spotty because it's like you're not the only one coming from port back, and so they have to wait till the van loads up. So you can be the first person off the ship and then have to wait an hour for other people to load into your van. With what was it?
GoPort.
GoPort. They have so many people using it that filling up a bus was like that.
Last year was it was the first time we used it, and oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Yeah,
I was
so I believe we booked our hotel through there. And the transportation to and from.
So it was all one rate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Transportation to and from. They handled luggage and everything as well.
They picked us up from the airport.
Oh yeah,
took us to the hotel. Then they took us from the hotel to the port, and then picked us back up and took us to the airport.
Yeah, and it had witty banter the whole time.
And the hotel price, and it was $200 something.
Yeah, it was really good price. So we definitely do that again if we went out of Port Canaveral.
Yes.
We've also done, when we went out of Fort Lauderdale, we had a big group of people, so we actually just went Airbnb and got a house for one night for all of the people that we had on the cruise. So we're able to do that as well. So definitely plan to get there a day in advance so you can make sure that you're going to get on the cruise ship. All right, now it's time to board the ship. Woo! Party! Yes. Not partying yet. Getting on the ship. So you're going to get into port. There's going to be a lot of hectic stuff going on because you're going to be taking your luggage and they're going to be putting luggage tags on.
Overwhelming your first time.
Yeah, the luggage tags are going to be done in advance. They're going to be put on your bags. You print them out at home kind of thing or have them mailed to you and have them on your luggage ready to go. Because once you get to the port, before you even get into get in the ship or anything, they're going to take your luggage and you're not going to see it again until later that evening when it's time to go to your room. So you get separated from your luggage. So make sure you have a little go bag.
I was going to say, we'll get to that later on in the week, but that is an important thing.
Yeah.
What you put in your carry-on, because you want to have stuff. You want to have swimsuit,
money,
medication,
sunscreen, and wine.
Wine? Yeah. Oh, right. Yes.
Or does that go in your luggage? It goes in your carry-on, right?
That goes in your carry-on.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Day,
you're skipping ahead.
I'm skipping ahead. I get so excited. So once you have dumped off your luggage, you got off the bus or transportation, you're then going to make your way into the cruise terminal. And that is, let's say you're going on a Oasis-style ship or a Freedom class. There's going to be thousands of people getting on the ship. One thing is they tell you check-in is at 2 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
So, but...
Don't tell our secret. Okay, tell our secret.
You can get on the ship much earlier than that. As soon as they clear the ship, they're going to start boarding the ship. Yeah. So it could happen as early as 10 a.m.
I think we've made people jealous before.
Because we've been on the ship at 9:30.
Cocktails in hand.
And we're at the buffet, living it up, and they're like, we're not even at the port yet. We're still driving.
Yeah.
So, get there early. You will be able to get on the ship early, especially if you are in one of the tiers like the Platinum members, which we are, or one of the, we're part of the Crown Anchor Society, which is, their level tiered system for, how many cruises you've been on, how special you are. So that's a little helpful tip. Once you get to the cruise terminal, check-in is fairly easy. There's going to be, and this is, again, before COVID, you did have to fill out medical information saying you haven't been sick before. Screening. Health screening. Then they are going to issue you out your C-Pass when you're there. C-Pass is basically your credit card for the rest of the week. Your room key. It's pretty much everything. Your passport on and off the ship. You carry it around with you all of the time from that point on. And then if you're special like us, they get you on the ship right away. So you're going to go into like a little holding pen until the ship is clear, and then they get you right on the ship. Usually on the big ships, you enter in the promenade area, or not the promenade area, but it's a promenade area. And that's kind of in the middle of the ship, and then you'll be able to venture out. Some areas of the ship you won't be able to go in yet because they're still cleaning or doing things. Your room, you're not going to be able to go in your room until in the afternoon, sometimes as late as 3 or 4. But usually it's always before the muster drill, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And so they're going to be, you're going to be able to do that. But if you have your swimsuit at 11 a.m. in your go bag, you're going to be able to go swimming at 11 a.m. wherever you are. Now, if it's January in Florida, might not be a great time to go swimming.
Then you go find a drink cart.
You find the drink cart. Go to the Windjammer and get some food. And so that's a basic idea of getting onto the cruise ship. Also, when you're picking out, this is one thing we didn't talk about when you're making your reservation. With Royal Caribbean, usually there's packages you can do when you're booking your room. We've done it before where, like, we had a room overlooking the boardwalk section of the ship, and we were able to get a drink cup, unlimited drink cups for the week.
Soda cup.
Soda cup, soda cup. Very important to say. There's some rooms that'll give you a bottle of wine when you book that one. There's very, very special rooms, like one on the whole ship kind of thing that, because of its view, they will give you like free ice cream for the week or something crazy because, it's like not a preferred room, but everybody gobbles those up right away because of the perks.
That's something to talk to your travel agent about. They'll help you out with that kind of thing. Yeah.
And even if you don't know where you want to go on the ship with your room, your travel agent is going to be able to check out the cruise that you want, and then they're going to have those special, there's like 5 rooms, these are your choices, and if you pick this one, you could possibly get this perk because of where it is, and
Right, and you can also discuss things, you're like, I'm nervous, I get a little seasick, so your travel agent might say, okay, well, we recommend you're higher up on the ship because that can help. Or I don't sleep if there's a lot of noise. Okay, well, we'll make sure you're in interior away from the elevators and everything, and or the gym or where it gets loud, and the basketball courts can get loud.
Sure. There are going to be some things that you're going to want to do before you get on the ship. Like, let's say shore excursions. Shore excursions, if you're going to book through Royal Caribbean, which we'll talk about later in the week about alternatives, but if you're going to book through the cruise ship, booking beforehand is going to be much cheaper. Once you're on the ship, they are going to squeeze every dime out of you.
Then you don't have to stand in line with everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. So if there's something you want to do, let's say you're going to a private island and they have pigs on a neighboring island and you get to swim with the pigs. You want to do that ahead of time.
You've lost everyone now. People don't you mean dolphins?
No. That was an actual thing.
That's a thing.
And I didn't get to do it because I was like, well, they got it for $60. I'm going to get it for $60. No, it was like $150 now, and I didn't get to do it because I wasn't going to pay $150 to swim with pigs. That's a thing. You can swim with pigs. So, always book if there's something you want to do. You're not sure if there's going to be anything else, alternatives, whatever. Book ahead of time for your excursion there.
And, check the website every couple of days because they have rotating discounts. You might look one day and be like, oh wow, that says it's 30% off if you book in the next 8 hours. So check things out. But
and if you do see something like that pop up, I'm not saying they're gonna honor it, but if you've already booked and then a discount pops up, always give them a call. See if there's something that they could do for you. They may not be able to give you that money back, but they might be able to give you some extra perks, onboard ship credit or something. So
always ask.
Always ask. It never hurts, and make sure you have that travel agent because they are going to know yes or no you're going to be able to do this. Kathy, our agent, she has been on like a million cruises, so she knows everything.
I'm so jealous of her life.
She lives on a cruise ship pretty much.
Pretty much. Well, she did before 2020.
Yeah, well, I was like, she did? And then, yeah, I gotcha. Some other things you want to do, too, and this is just simple stuff. You're going to apply your credit card to your cabin, you'll be able to use your CPAS and stuff as your credit card.
And then you can link of who can use it, who can't. Like, if you're traveling with kids, you won't link the credit card. Otherwise, you'll be like, how much did you spend at the arcade?
What? And then there's also some other things to do ahead of time. If there's any drink packages, again, those are things you want to buy ahead of time. Don't do it on the cruise ship because it's going to be way more expensive once they know you're on ship because you don't have a choice. You're either drinking their drinks or you're not drinking at all. Right. So those are things that you want to look at.
Yeah, you'll also want to say like how you want your room set up. So like if you're traveling with a friend, they have 2 beds. But they push them together if you're traveling as a couple, and they'll separate them if you're traveling with somebody that you don't want to share a bed with. Or if you're traveling with a kid, they'll have like the pull-out beds. They'll actually like pull them out, get them ready. Yep. So that's something you want to say ahead of time.
You say traveling with a kid. If you have 3 people in your cabin, you're going to have bunk beds. You don't have to all be kids.
So. I've never been in a room with a bunk bed. So.
Yeah, the walls just fold down, and all of a sudden you have 4 beds instead of 2.
That sounds a little crowded.
Well, having 2 people in one of these rooms is crowded. Having 3 people in there is you're just sleeping in the room, and that's it. When you're talking about the arrangements of the room and stuff as well, also let them know if there's any type of special occasion happening on that ship. So if it's anniversary, if it's your honeymoon, if it's your birthday, whatever it is, they will then make that ship.
Tell your travel agent, and then also make sure the cruise line knows as well. Like, be annoying about it. Be like,
it is our honeymoon. We get all the perks.
Because we did get a lot of perks on our honeymoon.
Even if it isn't a special occasion, make one up. So no, I'm kidding. All right. Also, one more thing that you want to do ahead of time is pick your dining time. Now, you can eat whenever you want on a cruise ship. Any time of day or night, you're going to be able to eat. You can have room service brought to you. All of that stuff is just included. Specialty dining is not included. There are some specialty dining you may want to make a reservation for ahead of time because, again, it's going to be cheaper if you do it ahead of time, and it might sell out, so you might not even get to do that specialty dining.
But you're right. They do packages and different things. Yeah, it's definitely something. Look on the website ahead of time.
But you will also have a dining time for your, I guess we'll call it formal dinner.
Formal, yeah.
So they have 2 times. They have an early time and a late time. They also have my time, which even becomes more confusing because you can just go whenever you want.
Like most people I know do my time.
They do? Okay.
Yeah. We're early diners.
Yeah, we eat with the 80-year-olds.
We do.
It's a 5 p.m. dining? 5:30, somewhere.
Yeah.
It's very early, but it allows us to have our evening to go out and enjoy all of this stuff. Yeah.
Like we eat so much on a cruise. I'd rather eat and then be able to spend the rest of the evening like relaxing, watching the shows. Then we can always go get a little dessert or something. If we watch the shows first and then ate our dinner, I would go to bed full.
If you're not eating at 5 or 5:30, you're eating at like 8.
Yeah,
so it's like
late.
There's definitely a big gap in there. So we like the early dining. We also usually eat every night in the formal dining room because we go on ships with friends, and so we have a lot of people, or just the people we meet on the ship, and we're able to swap stories, talk about what everybody did at whatever port, and just really enjoy each other's company. That's our together time. Because when you're on the ship and you go with a group of people, there's sometimes where you're going to have days where you're going to be together all the time, and there's going to be days where you don't see them until dinner. So it's good to have that time, that bonding time together to talk about.
Good to make sure everyone got back on the ship.
Exactly. Yeah. Drinking off ship, it's always sketchy to see if you make it back on. So, all right. Well, that pretty much gets us right to the point where we're going to tour a ship, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so tomorrow we are going to tour one of our favorite ships. It was a ship we went on this past January. It is the Harmony of the Seas. We'll give you a full ship tour, show you all the ins and outs and all the fancy stuff. And then later on in the week, we'll talk about all of the destinations, our top 3 destinations, I believe. Top 3 destinations?
Yeah, top 3, yep.
And we're going to talk a little bit about food on a cruise ship as well. Yeah. So that does it for this day 1 of our cruising. Woo! Cheers! And we will talk to you guys tomorrow.